think I did it. Am I on now?
I think so.
You see just the dashboard? See, I'm on a different place. I'm on a different stream though. TRG's over on another one. Oh, I got the wrong software up. I forgot to open up this one software. Now I look orange. Got the wrong white balance on here. Oh.
It looks black now.
Yeah, I know. I hit the wrong. I had the wrong button on. How do I change the white balance? Oh, I had it on dynamic. The white balance is all screwy.
It looks better now. I can see it.
But I look orange.
Yeah, at least you can see it.
Yeah. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
There he is. All right, I'm trying to figure out the white balance.
Yep. Say hi to TRG.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. We're chatting. Hi, TRG. I'm trying to figure out my white balance is all screwed up. I don't know what. Okay, I think I'm. See, everything's all screwy. I just think I look orange. Do I look orange?
No, a little bit, but not like.
Well, I've got an orange shirt on, so that's probably not how I look jaundice or something. Or
The rest of the room doesn't look orange though.
there we go. Yeah, I don't know what this is. What time is it? It is 1 minute till 8. We are almost ready to go. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. All right. Hey there, everybody. I am live. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my white balance is off. And I'm trying to figure it out here on this app. So bear with me for a moment. See, that looks orange now. I look like I'm orange. I don't want to be orange, damn it. Well, Guess you're going to have to deal with Orange Pete because I really don't know what's going on here. It's usually not this hard. It's usually pretty simple. Hey TRG, how's it going with the documentary? Hope one of these guests I suggested. Yeah, I started working on it this week with my friend Kevin. Kevin, hey there, crazy homebody girl. Thanks for checking in. I started working on it this week, and I'm with my friend Kevin, who is here in Cleveland. He and I worked in a call center together for 2 different seasons with the Cleveland Orchestra, where we raised funds with the Cleveland Orchestra. It's driving me crazy because I look orange and I cannot change my white balance. It's like it's locked in. It's driving me crazy, go nuts. Here we go. False color. No, that's not what we want. And it's going well. Kevin's a great guy. He's a very talented musician and artist here in Cleveland area. And he and I worked together with a guy who was our managing director. Howard Silverstein was our managing director, and he hated it when we called him a supervisor. And I used to just intentionally call him my supervisor just to tick him off, because he'd get all upset. He'd go, "Oh, I'm a managing director." He was a great guy, though. He was one of the few good supervisors I had in the call center. He actually tried to help me get a job as a managing director in the city of Detroit, but I wasn't about to move to Detroit, and this was 20 years ago. And I've never heard anything good about Detroit. No offense if you're from Detroit, but you know, it's probably the same thing you hear about Cleveland. It's a dung heap here. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But hey there, homebody girl. Are you at home already? You just clocked out, or are you in your car? And this white balance thing is just really bugging me. And there's a thing I can hit on here that locks in the ISO, but there's nothing to change the white balance. And I don't understand that. Take your first video. No, I won't do that. What is this thing over here? That's flat. Let me get flat. That's better. It's a little bit flat looking, but that's really weird. It looks bad on my phone, but on the screen it looks all right. So yeah, the documentary I think is going to be really good. Kevin has a really cool call center job right now, where he works from home basically. The company he works for has rented like an apartment for him overlooking Lake Erie. He's got this tremendous view of downtown Cleveland, looking from the west to the east. So he's on the west side, and it's just going to be, we're going to get some really great visual shots. Let's see here. Let me blow this up good here. Here, let me pull this in. My eyes are bad now. Yeah, this is getting old stuff. Is for the birds. Oh, that's terrible too. Jeez, what the hell, man? Adamant? Let's try adamant. Charcoal? I don't know. Everything I touch gets worse and worse and worse. Here we go. I found the white balance settings. Yay, everybody, yay. Pete's a happy man. It still looks like crap. Now I look all faded. Natural. There we go. I got it. Yay, I got it. Wow. So it's going to be great. I'm going to have some great visuals with Kevin. We start working on it together on Sunday. Kevin, I don't know if you're watching. You're probably at work. Oingo Boingo, I forgot to bring. Let me go get Oingo Boingo. I forgot about him. Let me push this away. He's over on my desk. Ooh. Where's the little bastard? Here he is. Oingo Boingo, the little pink bastard. I'm back. Here he is. There's Oingo Boingo. So thanks for remembering him. He enjoys it. Here, I'll put him back here. So you can, oh, that's his ass. You don't want to look at his ass. Oingo Boingo, don't show everybody your ass. Just put you a little bit over here. There he is. My wife is clapping, so the Indians, speaking of Detroit, the Indians are they're tied for first place with the Tigers. And it's nice to see that. They must have just scored a run or something. Hey, Oingo Boingo, yeah, there he is. No system training yet. See here, TRG says, I'm in my second week of training with this bank. We are watching a lot of, oh no, PowerPoint slides. Oh God, that's so boring. Are they trying to kill you with boredom? And I was told to do these interactive assessments with questions and answers. It's dragging. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, I've done those things. My wife, when she worked for another company, she did a lot of online training. She works in the house. She's worked from home for like 5-6 years now. And I get to see all the things she has to do. It's really, really monotonous. Yeah, Oingo Boingo is the star of the show. I don't know. I don't remember where I got this guy. I tried to find him online to see if I could buy another one because I'm sure there's a battery inside of him. And how long have I had Oingo Boingo? For like 6-7 years or something. And I can't find him anywhere. I can't. I don't know what happens when the battery dies. There's no zippers on him. I'll have to cut him open. Cut me open, no. And to get the battery, put a new battery in him. I don't see a zipper on him. And I've got T-shirts with Oingo Boingo on it. You know, if you're interested, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Let me find my. Let me get logged into my Teespring account here. I am not a robot. Where are you? There's Oingo Boingo. Let me bring him up here. I think you can see that's my Oingo Boingo t-shirt. It's all about having fun. $24.99 for a Classic View t-shirt. If you want to support my channel, you can also buy an Oingo Boingo mug. Look at that. Wouldn't you just be so happy to have an Oingo Boingo mug? Wouldn't you be the thrill of the office? Does anybody even go to the office anymore? I don't think anybody does. That's on teespring.com. I've got them for sale on my site. If you go to my shop, my store here on YouTube, you can. Oh, look at that. On, off. So that's exciting stuff. Let me go back here to live streaming. Let's see here. Travelman says, I like the video. I started with a major timeshare company to timeshare, but will transfer with the company to face-to-face sales. I've done face-to-face sales. I did it for about 6 months when I first moved to Arizona, and it was with a software company. I'm not really, I'm not really a face-to-face sales guy. I can get all salesy over the phone and all chummy and talk to people. I can talk to people. Boingo, boingo. Come on, stop showing everyone your ass, will you? God damn it. I don't know. It depends on the type of personality you have. I think the best salesmen are the kind that can really just, they have no fear, and they can just basically walk into a place and say, hey man, how's it going? How about those Guardians, man? And you can make small talk and make a quick friend, and I think the trick is have them to gain their trust pretty quick. When I did it, this was when was it? 23 years ago. I worked for a software company out in Phoenix, and I had to get in a car and go to different clients and try to sell them this company's software. It was a company that designed software for small to medium-sized companies. And actually, I got in the door of ASU to redesign their website, because they did web design too, this company. And I was schmoozing this guy. I would go in there like once a week. I was going with the owner of this company, and we thought we had him, and then he backed out at the last minute. It was heartbreaking. It was really, I quit right after that, because I was like, you know what, I don't think this is for me. And the owner, she actually almost begged me to stay. And I was just like, sorry, I can't do this anymore. She's like, no, you can do it, you're good. I'm like, but I'm not getting any sales. How much longer are you going to keep me if I'm not getting any sales? I've been there 6 months and I hadn't got one sale. So it's hard. I think face-to-face is really hard. I think you have to have a lot of tenacity and stick-to-itiveness. I think you really have to have the desire and the passion for it, and you have to see yourself in that role. I could see myself in that role, but once I did it, once I got into that position, it just wasn't for me. But maybe it's for you. I'm not telling you not to do it. I do sales over the phone really good because I don't have to look at people. I get very uneasy around people when I try to do sales, or try to, if the conversation lasts more than like 10 minutes, I'm ready to walk. I don't like long conversations with people, especially strangers. So you'll have to see. Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone. I have to work in the call center for 6 months. Oh, and then you go face to face. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this documentary. It's going to be a lot of work. All documentaries are a lot of work. The couple I've already done, each one took a year. This one is going to take at least that long. I have been in email communication with 2 different professors. One who is a professor at Cornell, the University of Cornell, and they said they were interested in talking with me about being in a documentary, but we'll see if they actually follow through with it, because a lot of these people are very busy and they don't have a lot of time to mess around with somebody in a documentary. So I'm going to work on a proposal for them. I've got to have a phone call. I wrote both of them back and said, hey, when they said they were interested, I wrote to them and said, hey, let me know a good time and a way to reach you. And I haven't heard back from anybody. But it's school year, and like I said, they got better things to do than deal with this. But the 2 people that could be, my fingers are crossed, that could be in this film would be perfect. Now I just got to find out if they want to be paid for their time, because some people who are fairly prominent in their area of expertise want to be paid. And if they're professors at Cornell, I'd imagine, I don't know if they're going to volunteer their time. One lady is a professor at Cornell. The other lady works at the Call Center Workers Association, the union for call centers. If I can get either one or both in there, oh my God. This move could be a home run. So, TRG, the one CEO you referred me to on LinkedIn, I didn't have any way to write to him because I had to have the paid version of LinkedIn to talk to him. I follow him but I'm trying to find, I can't remember his name, but I did try to figure out a way to reach out to him. I've got to find a way to contact them. A lot of these CEOs, even when they're retired, they kind of go incognito, they go underground because they don't want to be bothered. And it's really hard to get a hold of these people. The thing that kills me is I have a friend that used to be my boss, and he became one of the higher ups in IT at Progressive Insurance, and he just retired a couple of years ago. And I know somebody that knows him, but she won't tell me how to get a hold of him. Because, I don't know, I don't know if he's healthy. I don't know, he was a really great guy. He would be perfect. And I've kind of let it go. I got to get a hold of them again. So I'm really excited about, because I told the woman at Cornell and the other woman who works at CWA that this is, we got to tell the world about the atrocities that go on in these call centers, because the average American, the average person in the world has no idea how hard the job is, how incredibly difficult it is. Brother MC Deuce has been missing your daily posts. Yeah, this week has been kind of like last week. I posted every day, and then this week, what happened this week? I had some other things going on. Yeah, I did a live this morning in my car, and then I just haven't. I've been doing other things. I can't remember what I was doing, but I know I was kind of pulled away from this for a couple of days. But I'm getting back on it. So hopefully we'll have some people with credentials in the film. That's what I wanted for my second documentary. My second documentary, Road to Forgiveness, was an autobiographical film about my life being raised by two alcoholic parents. And I had a friend, again, here in Cleveland, who works specifically with kids that were abused by alcoholic parents. And he and I got into a political disagreement, and he decided he didn't want to be in the film. And some of it's my own fault, because I voiced my opinions about the nasty wasty bug, and he saw them on Facebook, and he said, forget it. I don't want anything to do with your film. And I was really bummed by that, because he would have been perfect. And, this whole documentary filmmaking thing is, it's weird, because what happens is you talk to people, and they go, oh, yeah, I'd love to be, oh, God, I'd give anything to be in this. Let me hear what my levels sound like here. I didn't check my levels. Oh, I hit myself in the face, damn it. Hello, test. Let me turn myself down a little bit. I'm kind of boomy there. A little bit of boom. But people will say, sure, that sounds great. And then they get cold feet. They realize that their story's going to be in front of the world. And, I've had two films, and they both won awards for Best Documentary at two smaller film festivals. So I'm doing something right. But people find out. They start to think about it too much. They go, oh, I had another friend, that said they were going to work with me. We were in pre-production meetings for at least a month. And then one day, after our last pre-production meeting, they just stopped talking to me. No idea. They're still alive. They're okay. But I have no idea. To this day, I still don't know why. No idea why. And that's what happens. This has happened to me twice, 2 or 3 times. One person I was in pre-production meetings with, we started production of the documentary, and I showed this person a rough cut of what I had, and she totally flipped out. And she flipped out about how she looked. She flipped out about a bunch of things. And I just wrote her a polite email, and I said, you know what, I don't think we should work together. I don't think this is right, because she didn't trust me at all. She thought I was going to misrepresent her completely, which is not the truth. And people they get the yips, I guess you would call it. Let's see here. David. Let's see here. Brother MC Dude, thanks so much. That's nice of you to say. I don't know what the little crown means. Does that mean you gave me something? I'm not really privy. Oh, you're one of my top fans. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. It's nice. You make my life better by being part of this channel. I'm glad I can help out. I have lots of people telling me I help them with their life in a call center. And I'm glad I do that because there's other people on here that don't tell the truth. But there's one woman who I think is Filipino, and she has a very popular channel where she tries to help people navigate the shark-filled waters to become successful in a call center. And I appreciate that because in her country, I think in the Philippines, as in India, call centers are meant, or they're not meant to be, but they are considered to be prestigious jobs. And somebody told me they're more prestigious than being a nurse. What's the opposite here? It's more prestigious to be a nurse, but actually it's probably even worse than being a call center rep. So I appreciate that. I'm glad I can help some people. David says, I worked in a neurology call center. Sorry, I'm being like President Trump. What's this with Melania? Sorry. David said, I worked in a neurology call center once when I was between jobs. I went in and got hired on the spot after a 5-minute interview. I knew what I was getting into. I stayed 6 weeks for the paycheck. Oh yeah, a lot of us do that. I started doing it. Some of the places will pay you, like let's say the starting salary is $15 an hour once you're on the floor, but they'll pay you $20 when you're in training. And let's say 20 lasts for the training lasts for 6 weeks and you get $20 an hour for 6 weeks. I've seen a lot of people come in, stay the whole 6 weeks and then quit just because they're getting $20 an hour. TRG says he has a booking email. It must be the first link. Okay, which guy is that? Or if you're going to send it to me in the email, TRG, do you want to help produce this film? You don't have to be in it, but do you want to help me do some research and contact some of these people? Maybe I can. Well, I don't know if I can even pay you though. I don't know. I don't really have a budget yet. I'm applying. I'm working on applying to some places for some grants, specifically CWA, to see if they'll help fund some of the film. Yankees, David says the Yankees about to win the division. And then the World Series. They're actually going to win the division? I thought they were in third place, like the Indians were. Did they take over the Red Sox? Man, you guys got some massive monsters at the plate there. Not just, I think, isn't Judge hurt? Isn't Aaron Judge hurt? But you guys got some big boys at the plate there that can just just destroy the ball. And my Indians are, or Guardians, I hate calling them the Guardians, stupid name, but I don't know. I think they're winning right now. I don't know. I think they're beating the Tigers again. Let's see here. Indian or Guardians. I keep calling the Indians. We're winning 2-1 in the top of the fourth. But that's cool. I've always been kind of a closeted Yankees fan. I grew up watching Jesse Jackson. Reggie Jackson and Thurman Munson, and I can't think of all those guys. I was a Reds Yankees fan when I was a little kid. Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, all the big players, the big names from those days. I was a huge fan of all those guys. See, Brother MC Dude says, my call center work in Australia is now done by the Philippines and India. The offshored our jobs. So you lost your job, or was that a while ago? Yeah, they're doing that everywhere. It'll be, everything's offshored, and it looks like everything's going towards AI. Oh, the Diary of CEO guy. Minnesota Vikings are going to take over the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Vikings. I haven't watched the Vikings since what it didn't. Was it Favre that went to them? Was it Brett Favre that went from the Packers to the Vikings? Because I think they're rivals, aren't they? Yeah, we have lost complete interest in the Browns. My wife and I, when we moved to Arizona, we started watching the Packers because Favre was on there, and then we started watching when Rodgers was on there, and we started watching the Colts with Peyton Manning. When you start watching really good football teams, and then you start watching the Browns again, it's atrocious. The entire organization of the Cleveland Browns is a total train wreck. The front office is just filled with goofballs. The owner's an idiot. It's horrible here. Here in Australia, so what is it? It's tomorrow in Australia, right? So I take it everybody survived the what do you call it? It's fun being vague, isn't it? The revival, not the revival. What do you call it? Jesus is coming back. I'm a good Christian. Rapture. Everybody survived the rapture. I guess we're still here. I don't know. Nothing happened. I feel bad. So there was this woman on TikTok that I used to make fun of. Just light humor, nothing real belligerent. And her name is Emily, and she allegedly talks to the mothership that's coming into the planet, and she talks to the aliens through telepathy. I'd be a good candidate for president. So she talks to these aliens telepathically, and she actually wrote to me directly, and she was very nice, and she wanted to do a reading for me. She kept trying to get me to give her my date of birth and pictures of my palm prints. She wanted to do my palm reading. But the scary thing is that she actually did tell me something without me giving her any information. And I was trying to think if there's anything about this on the internet that she could have found. But I don't think there is. And she was spot on about something. And I was like, whoa, lady, I don't know, where did, and I wrote to her and I said, come on my show. Let me interview you here on YouTube. And I said, I'll never make fun of you again. And she stopped talking to me. What that has to do with the price of rice in Brazil, I don't know. Yes, the doomsday clock in 1999, where the world was supposed to end when the clocks all switched over to 2000. Is that what you mean? TRG? You want to be a warlock. How do you become a warlock? Do you go to school for that? Is it like Harry Potter, where you go to Hogwarts? I don't know. I've never heard of people becoming one. I really don't know anything about that stuff. Though I dated a couple women that were into Wicca. And they're, if you know anything about women into Wicca, say no more. Their cheese has slid off their cracker a long time ago, but they got it going on in the bedroom. That's all I'll say. Crazy go nuts in the bedroom with Wicca women. If you want some wild, passionate times with a lady, date a Wiccan or Wicca or whatever it's called. Sorry, Meg. Meg knows all about me. She knows what a freak I can be. So, this is so cool that everybody's watching tonight. This is great. I have this little device here called an ATM Mini Pro ISO. It's a video switcher. I'll show it to you here. And it allows me to hook up either 4 cameras or a camera and 3 devices. And I bought it years ago because I wanted to do commentary video, but this thing, there was something wrong with it, and it was on the fritz until I did an upgrade. I upgraded the software and it fixed it. They must have fixed the bug in it. So I like this better because when I'm in my car going live, I can't talk to anybody because I like talking live in the car because I can kind of, my mind goes into a different place when I'm driving. So this is kind of fun too because I can just sit down and relax and not worry about police officers behind me. Like today, I had a cop follow me for about 2 miles. I don't think he was following me. I think he was just headed into town where I was going. Wicca, interesting stuff. Mysterious occult stuff. It must be risky dating in Wicca. I don't know if it was risky. It was fun though. You would never guess it, but back in like 1998, I dated this singer from Cleveland, and she had purple and like black hair, tattoos and piercings, and she was all gothed out. I don't know if they called it goth back then, or it was, yeah, it was probably called goth, or she was new age or something. And to see us together was funny because here's me with my polo shirts and my jeans, and there's this gothic chick, and we're going to movies and stuff. It was kind of cool. I felt kind of out of place because at the time I don't have any hair now, but back then I had a little bit up here, and I felt very self-conscious because I wasn't dressed in the part, you know. John Gunderson, tell me about politics and. Oh man, John, there's not enough time to talk about all the politics in the call center, but you're walking right into it. You're just walking into a meat grinder of politics. I could never prove this, but it seemed like a lot of people that I got hired into training with in the training class already knew somebody on the floor. And anytime in training, you'd see somebody in training sitting there, and somebody would walk in from outside that was already working the floor, and they'd come in and they'd see the person sitting next to me, and they'd be, "Oh, Sally, I'm so glad you're here. Here, hey, how's the wife and kids?" Like they all knew each other. And a lot of the people that get hired in by a friend or relative seem to have more success than somebody that doesn't know anybody on the floor. So you'll see a lot of nepotism. You'll see a lot of fraternization, whether it's same-sex or opposite-sex fraternization, and those people seem to have more success. And I'm talking about both men and women. There were a lot of lesbians, a lot of female supervisors, a lot of lesbians on the floor. That's something I've never even talked about. Lots of lesbians in these places. I don't know why that is. There's lots of gay men too, a lot of homosexual men. A lot of them are trainers, but you'll see a lot of fraternization. Damn, Pete, I got to start drinking again. I think I speak better when I'm drinking. You're going to see a lot of things. One of the most political things you're going to see is, well, I don't know if it's political, but human resources. You've got to stay away from human resources. Do not approach human resources about anything that's going on the floor without complete documentation. Because if you go up to somebody in human resources and say, "Hey, my boss is grabbing my whatever," or he or she is being mean to me or saying dirty things to me, unfortunately, if you don't have it documented and you don't have any proof that this is what's happening, they're going to look for ways to get rid of you because they're going to look at you as a troublemaker. Because human resources is there for one thing: to protect the corporation. They are the guard dogs of the company, not just in a call center, in any company. I urge each and every one of you that if you're being abused in a call center in any way, shape, or form, that you find a way to record it. Visually, orally, photographs, anything you can get, and get it all documented, and then present your case to HR and say, "Look, I got my boss. He's grabbing my blankety blank. He said this. I got it all documented. I have backup copies of this at my boyfriend or girlfriend's house. You do something about this, or I'm going to the press," or whatever your plan of action is. Make sure you have it documented, because once they see you have somebody by the short hairs, they have to take you seriously, because they know they don't want this to get outside the confines of the walls of that company. They don't want it to go to the press. They don't want it to go to your local ABC, NBC, CNN affiliate, or whatever it is. They want to keep it in-house. They want to make sure you're happy. But at the same time, even if you get that done, let's say you get that supervisor fired or whatever, and they get off your back, they're going to start looking for ways to get rid of you, because you're a troublemaker. You're a threat to the company's reputation. I guarantee it. HR is not there for you in any way, shape, or form. You're going to run into all kinds of politics, all kinds. You're going to run into people that won't speak to you, but they're friendly to everybody around you, and you'll have no idea why. I don't know if that's really politics. You'll have people that won't like you because you're new. It's just like high school. It's just like a demented high school, even worse than high school. You'll have people that if you start doing good on the floor and your sales start to increase in the meetings, they won't speak to you because you're better than them. You get all kinds of petty political crap that goes on. It's horrible. It's just like high school. Yeah, crazy homeboy buddy girl. HR is not your friend. Absolutely not. And I learned the hard way. There was a guy, I won't say the call center, but the call center I worked in where a guy became friends with me, and then he became my supervisor. But he and I were friends because we were both from Cleveland, and we both lived in an area of town that at one time, that part of town was known to be very predominantly white and anti-African American. Let's put it that way. It was kind of like a sundown part of town, but I happened to live there because I found a condo that I could afford, and it was like 2 miles from where I worked. But I wasn't raised there. I wasn't raised like that. I was not raised in a racist family at all, in any way, shape, or form. So this guy thought I was racist because I lived in his hometown. So he started telling me personal things, like about what he was going to do with this certain ethnic person on the team that he decided to fire because she was of that race. And I was furious. I didn't say anything to him because he was my boss, and I'm like, I just gotten married. I'm like, what do I do about this? I just got married, and we'd been married maybe a year, something like that. And so I went to HR, and this guy fired this poor girl on Thanksgiving Day or something like that, with nothing that I didn't know what her stats were, but he told me he was just going to do it because she was a blankety blank. So I went to HR, and they said, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Everything he documented is legitimate. It's all documented. And from that point forward, they made my life a living hell. They did everything. They moved me around to different supervisors, and it was horrible. Don't go to HR. Please don't, unless you got everything documented. Let's see. Brother MC says, be cautious of trending conspiracy channels and videos getting clicks. Trending conspiracy channels. My widgets get about 10 views. I don't know if that's aimed at me, brother, but I know what you're talking about. Conspiracy channels. Yeah, there's a lot of weird conspiracy channels out there that aren't real. I think they're AI driven. Yankees at 5-1 in Toronto losing 4-0. So the Yankees made a comeback too. I gotta look this up. So the Guardians. Yankees score. Yeah, 5-1. Look at that. They're 89 and 68. How do I find their New York Yankees? I just want to find their standings. Come on. Yankees standings. Damn, they made a comeback. Boston's in third place. Wow, this is amazing. I had no idea. I did not know that. Wouldn't it be funny if we have to face each other in the playoffs? Be cautious of trending. Okay, there. Let's see. Yankees. My call center was pretty toxic. It was like going back to elementary school. Yeah, it's just like that. It's very toxic. It's horrible. It's really horrible. You see the worst of people in these call centers. Though and honestly, I made a couple of friends over the years, people I've lost track of. There was a guy named Mark that I was friends with at Wells Fargo. He and I would play guitar together, and we played out a couple times in a small duo. But then I moved back here, and we lost track of each other. And I got my friend Kevin, who will be in the documentary. He's a cool guy. There's been others. What's killing me is I've got a couple of friends that work for big companies and call centers here in Cleveland. I haven't spoken to them in years. I'm trying to figure out how to approach them about being in it, see if they'd be interested. One of them doesn't doesn't work in call centers anymore. He became a nurse. It's just a fraternity night. It's just a fraternity, right? It ain't what it is. I don't know if that's directed at me, TRG. Like a call center is a fraternity? Is that what you mean? If you're talking to me. I'm a little bit new to this whole chat thing. I don't know if you're talking to me or other people. Yeah, David, if you get a cool supervisor, you're set. I had a cool supervisor at a small bank called First Merit Bank. He was awesome. He was great. And then I left to move to Arizona. I worked for him for about 6 months. He liked me. He helped me out a lot. He was always very cool. I left and I came back to work for the same bank years ago, and he had died. And it's like, oh crap. And the supervisor I ended up having there was horrible. But he was a good guy. You must have hidden my chat. Oh, let me check the reviews. If you said something here, it automatically gets hidden. Something I have things set up if you say certain words. Community moderation, participants. How do I find these down here? I'm not certain how to. There's a way to check on these. I can't find it though. I don't remember how to check what messages are being held. I didn't block it. I think it's done automatically. Fan funding live chat. How do I get this out of here? Community moderation, participants, moderation activity. What is moderation activity? Oh, Aaron hit his 50th home run. Wow, that dude's a monster. He's a beast. Do people like him? Are you in New York, David? That's just a freaking beast. Timestamp, reactions, pop out chat, send feedback. I'm going to turn that off. And look at this here. Community moderation, what is that? I have no idea what I just did. Yeah, the Yankees have some big boys at the plate, man. I don't know how anybody can beat that team because we don't have big bats in Cleveland. We got two guys that can hit fairly consistently, Quan and Jose Ramirez. The rest of the guys are consistently inconsistent. Community moderation button. Let's see here. Meg just unmuted the TV set, so something must be happening in the Guardians game. Community moderation. Let me see here. Moderation activity. Let me look at that. Okay, so I just clicked on. It says community moderation will be shown. When did you send it? Let me see here. Maybe I have to approve something. Boy, the announcer here in Cleveland's going crazy. Let me check the Guardian score. Oh, it's 3-1 now. Guardians. No, now it says it's 2-1. Was it 2-1 or 3-1? Yeah, it's 3-1. I don't know where this moderation button is, but I'm looking for it. So it's going to be fun making this. Well, it's not going to be fun. I mean, making a documentary is interesting, and it's just a lot of work. And the people that get involved don't know how much work it is, especially if there's one person you're following around with a camera all the time. They get, it can be overwhelming, because you're constantly following up with them and calling them and trying to get them to agree to stuff and agree to meet again and again and again. View all messages instead of top messages in live chat. Okay. Top chat, live chat. Oh wait, maybe this is it. Is it about the Freemasons, TRG? I think this must be it. No, it didn't get blocked. It says, what's your thoughts on people blaming the Freemasons for everything? I don't know. I don't think it's true. They say this Charlie Kirk remembrance event was a sacrificial ritual. I'm starting to believe more and more that the Masons have more and more to do with what's going on in this country. What I saw with the Charlie Kirk assassination and everything that's happened since that day has been nothing short of Twilight Zone. It's the most bizarre series of events, lies, misrepresentations of what happened. The weapon that he allegedly used is almost as bad as the Carcano that Oswald allegedly used, this cheap, crappy Italian rifle that I think the Italian army you couldn't hit the broadside of a barred with the thing. You've got to ask yourself a question when you see this stuff happen and it's broadcast live and you see somebody's neck gushing with blood. You got to start asking, why is this happening? Who would benefit from it? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to distract you from? And that's something I've started to do. I've started to learn how to look at these things, because the first thing they did was they had people and the old man in the audience said he did it, and he wasn't even associated with it, but why did he do it? How did he know what was going on? How did this guy get on the roof? They haven't said that. How did he get off the roof without a rifle? How did he disassemble a 30-06 Mauser, which is not an easily disassembling rifle? It's you need a screwdriver and I think an Allen wrench to take the barrel off of the receiver and take everything apart. Nothing in the story makes any sense. So you've got to say, okay, why would they misrepresent what really happened? So there has to be somebody behind it. There has to be a reason, a message they were sending. I don't know if it's the Masons. I don't know who it is, but it's more than apparent they're covering something up, something nefarious after the shooting has gone on, something way deeper than we're aware of. And then what I saw at his memorial at Glendale Arena, the State Farm Arena in Arizona, was just, it was, as I watched it, I went numb just with horror of how freaking political it was. And you've got to ask yourself a question, why would they take somebody's murder and turn it into a political rally with fireworks and pyrotechnics and borderline, inciting speeches that incited vengeance and hate? Our own president said that, God bless, Charlie didn't hate his enemies, but President Trump said he hates his. And this is a man that's allegedly a Christian, a Bible-fearing, Bible-thumping, God-fearing Christian. And you got to ask yourself, what's going on? Who is behind it? Why would our own president try to get ABC's license revoked because they are not saying flattering things about the president or Jimmy Kimmel isn't. It's a very strange thing, and I believe there is a force behind it, a group of some sort. And what they did is that whole thing, that what? Hold on a second, guys. I don't know. You can still hear me there. I'm got a wireless mic on. My wife's a huge sports fan. I actually married somebody that knows something about sports. It's funny, I used to date somebody before I met my wife who we went to an Indians game together. And we were sitting on the first base side, and the guy got a base hit, and she turns to me and she goes, "Is that a first down?" And I went, "Oh no, I'm not dating you anymore." Not that I'm not really into sports that much anymore, but a lot of women, more women know about sports these days. But let's see here, brother. Yeah, John, it does sound like JFK. It has. They took over. The media took over, started to spin different stories to distract us. It's kind of like with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. They took a piece of raw meat and threw it into the middle of a bunch of ravenous, rabid dogs, meaning the American public, and they stepped back and went, watch them fight over this. And it's create dissension. Charlie Kirk hasn't brought the country together. It's divided us again. Christian versus Jew, Christian versus non-Christian, born agains versus Catholics, the whole thing. It's insanity. Yeah, the remembrance event was weird. The pyrotechnics seemed like WWE. And she, Erica Kirk, seems like a Stepford wife. She has this weird, vacant stare in her eyes. Very strange to watch. TRG said, but they say they're just a fraternity. I actually approached them, and they say they're against it. I don't know what that is. I looked at that one again. I think any news. Let's see. Brother MC says I think any news story is used against us. Yeah, I do too. It's all used to manipulate our minds and our emotions. They twist things. I don't really follow any conspiracy channels. Too negative. Yeah, I'm getting that way too. I'm heavily into the conspiracy stuff, and it can weigh really heavy on you, especially when you realize everything around you, most everything is a lie. It makes you start going, I don't know if I don't watch this anymore. It's just too depressing. Luigi Mangione. Yeah, that's going to be a circus. Yeah, like the John Gotti trial. Yeah. Masters of the Puppets. Yeah, they had a story tonight on NBC News that we were watching after dinner, and it was about some alleged sniper who took pot shots at an ice facility. And I don't know if you know what a Garand is, but a Garand is a rifle that was used predominantly in World War II. And let me show you what they showed. So this story was about this guy that was they called him a sniper, number one. A sniper that was on another rooftop. Now this is the third shooter that's been on a rooftop taking shots at something either directly or indirectly related to this current presidential administration, President Trump's administration. And he was on a roof, but they didn't say what kind of rifle it was. But they found shell casings on the roof that said anti-ice on it. Okay, great. So now the new trend is every guy that's a sniper or gal that's a sniper have to be, fair to both sexes, because women can be snipers too, as we saw in World War II, and some of the Russian women were really crack snipers. But they're engraving hateful things on the shell casings now. Okay. They're leaving their trademark. And so today they say there was a sniper, he took pot shots at this ice building. And I'm thinking, why are you telling us this? And they're telling you how this is a trend and this is going on, and he had hateful things, and they showed what is called a clip, not a magazine, a clip. They showed something just like this, and I'll show this to you. This is what's called an M1 Garand clip. Let me get out of this propaganda here. Who would you trust? So this is what was known as a clip. Now, if you ever know any guys that are really into guns, and you call a magazine a clip, they'll hit you over the head with your own rifle. But in World War II, there was a rifle called a Garand. This is the M1 Garand, right here. And come on, show me this picture. And this is the clips that they used. They had little clips that loaded into the rifle from the top, I believe, either the top or the bottom. And when the last round was spent, the clip would pop out of the rifle and go ching. And that's how all the Germans knew when our riflemen were done. They had to load a new clip in, and they would fire on that position because they could hear the ammo clip pop, pop, pop. But anyway, so this down here, let me put myself back in here. So this down here is the clip, and this is what they showed today was a clip, not a magazine. They showed a clip on, allegedly from the sniper, the alleged sniper. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, and what do? They start talking about how this is a common occurrence now with all these snipers and, people like this, and they don't want to make this a common thing. Well, I'm thinking, well, why tell anybody about it if you don't want, oh Lord, what? Something just happened out there. But if you don't want people to get the idea, if you don't want to give another lunatic the idea to become a sniper, then why would you broadcast that there's snipers out there unless you're trying to feed the message to somebody, or maybe there's a Manchurian candidate out there that hears, like his code word to go kill is, okay, somebody shut up ICE, and they go, oh, I've got to go shoot up my, whatever their assignment is. It's the weirdest thing. They don't want to perpetuate this, but they keep pushing it in the news all the time. So you've got to sit back and say to yourself, why do they keep pushing these narratives? I'm off my soapbox, but this clip that they showed it had to be from a Garand. I don't know how many other rifles used a clip like that. There must be others. All the Yankee fans went to bed. It's a school night, really. Yeah, Mrs. Pop is in their chair. We must have scored again. Let me check that. Let me check the Guardian score again here. But I mean, like, who goes up on a roof with an M1 Garand from World War II? It's a very accurate rifle, very reliable rifle, but you'd have to. And then they shot indiscriminately at the building, through the windows and stuff. They weren't even a good shot. So what did they do? Grab the grandpa's M1 Garand from his gun collection, and none of it makes any sense. Guardian score. I don't know what she's cheering about. It's still 3-1. I don't know. Middle of the sixth, it's 3-1. All right. So what time is it here? It is 9 o'clock, my friends. I read a couple more comments, and I'm going to hit the bricks here. Thanks everybody for watching. Check my message above. See, it's not hidden again. I don't see. I was referring to the free Masons. Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's kind of like a big fraternity. My grandfather was a Mason, but he was the low end Mason. My mom's dad was, but he worked in construction. I think it was him. It was him or my great grandfather. I think my great grandfather was definitely a Mason because he worked in the oil fields in Pennsylvania back in the 1800s. My wife's grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason, but he was vice president of a big auto parts company way back in the 80s. And he was very successful. He was a self-made man. He never went to college, and he became vice president of an entire company. Yes, David, I will keep leading you out of the rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. Yeah, they turned it into MK Ultra, definitely, Brother MC. I mean, let's see here. And I made a comment about a funny situation with a client in Teams, and my manager asked me what was the purpose of the comment. Yeah, you got to be careful what you say about your clients, and especially if a manager that has no sense of humor. They're very, very uptight. You got to watch out for those kinds because they're going to look for reasons to get mad at you and write you up and get rid of you and stuff like that. I've had bosses like that. I'm going. So TRG, you mean the fraternity of the Masons, or are you joining the Warlocks, or are you joining like a university? I'm confused. I was in a fraternity in college, but it was nothing like you see in the movies. We were kind of more like Animal House. We weren't as bad as Animal House, but we were not your traditional fraternity. A good group of guys. Most of them were good. The guy in my Masonic. Don't you have to be invited to join the Masons? Logan, who was in my first documentary, Logan Rogers, was in the fraternity with me. There's a lot of good guys in that fraternity. All right, guys, I am going to log off here. I hope you're all having a great night. Thanks for watching. TRG, I'll look up those CEOs and try to get a hold of them here. Well, thanks all of you for watching, and have a good night. And I will see you all next week. Same time, same bat channel. Talk to you later. Bye.